Hello everyone and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. It is Tuesday, March the 19th, 2019, and here we are already on our 50th show, which would be show number 50. Got to 50.
B-Dog would be happy. B-Doggo too.
So let's make this an epic show number 50. We have the Miami Open that is just beginning, and in the next hour or two, qualies have been going on for the past day.
Right, and there's a few qualifying rounds left today. The men finished playing today, and there's still some women qualifying that played today.
So again, it's still super early in the season. We are show number 50. I think this makes about 250 shows that we've done since pre-Wimbledon talk last year, so
wow,
way to rock and roll on that one. As usual, Carla and I will place a link above in case you missed our last show. It was a nice one. I had a good time with it. Actually, I think we'll go ahead and put a playlist link above. It should say suggested videos up top, and we'll put a link to our entire 200 plus shows, so hey, you can pick and choose or catch up there or just start right here.
Yeah. They could see our first show, how different it was, right?
That was kind of fun, right?
Yeah, it was.
All right. Yesterday, Carla and I missed doing a show. We had our 5 kids at a tennis tournament yesterday. At least our 2 oldest boys played. We didn't get back till late last night, so we got up early this morning and wanted to get this show out before round 1 on the women's side started in Miami today.
Correct.
But yesterday I did have a really wicked good idea, right? I hadn't even told you about this one. Why don't we start a tennis racket stringing company where the staff or we actually get to know the players or the businesses and actually send out or recommend strings to those players that may suit them better or work out better for them, instead of just looking up something, okay, I'll try this, get an order in, and then maybe or may not like it. Why don't we try to get to know customers, coaches, and businesses, and actually help them get the strings that's best for them?
Wait, Justin, I thought that YTEX did that already.
Why can't I come up with any original ideas? That's right, YTEX Strings does do that. They got to know us a couple years ago, didn't they?
They did.
Man, I thought I had a great idea.
Sorry, they beat you to it.
Beat me to it. Well, anyway, I forgot that YTEX actually got to know their customers, got to know the players, and actually recommended strings that were like other strings that players may play with and like, but in my opinion are even better. Anyway, thank goodness for YTEX, right? All right, so anyway, moving forward, the Miami Open starts today. Carla and I have done our draws as usual. We got up early and predicted each round, the matches on the men's and women's sides.
Some of the stuff looks the same, right, on the men's side?
I think we've got a potential early matchup between Federer and Wawrinka. That is if Federer doesn't pull out of this tournament.
Yes.
So we'll see how the mighty 37-year-old Federer does. I think there's been some swirl about him potentially withdrawing, but I'll believe that when I see it. All right, so let's jump right into the women's draw. By the way, Carla and I are going to go ahead and put out our first prize giveaway, and this comes from YTEX Strings and Apparel, our sponsor. So what we're going to do is our first prize giveaway will involve the following. In the first round, if any of you can put in the comment field below on this video what you think will be the biggest upset in the first round on the men's side or the women's side. So the first person who lists the biggest upset, in other words, a seeded player gets knocked out in the first round or a qualifier takes out a big name. And I'm sure we'll get a lot of submissions. So if there's multiple upsets, I guess we'll look at maybe statistics and see which one by the books is the biggest upset. And if you list that, we will send you either a set of YTEX strings, your choice. We can talk about which ones are best for you, or a YTEX shirt. These are a couple of the colors and strings that we have in front of us, but we do have many more.
There's a lot more variety, yes, a lot more colors.
All right, so let's jump into the women's draw. Listen up for potential upsets. Don't forget to comment below on what you think the biggest upset will be, and Carla and I will send you a set of strings or a shirt.
Right.
All right.
Well, we have the. We'll start with the women's qualifiers. We had a few players that I thought would at least get to the second round of qualifying. You had Marie Buskova from the Czech Republic defeat Katie Bolter from United Kingdom. I thought Katie Bolter was like the next thing in United Kingdom after Johanna Konta. I'm a bit shocked that she lost at Miami.
No surprise here for me. I wouldn't say the next Konta. I don't think Konta's done yet. I have Konta actually winning a couple rounds here.
So do I. Madison Brengel defeated another girl from the United Kingdom who was an up-and-coming player, Heather Watson, in 3 sets.
Good win for her. Good
win. Heather Watson's had a tough year with injuries. She hasn't quite been able to find her form yet. So, this one was even more shocking to me. Nao Hibono from Japan defeated Eugene Bouchard.
Ooh.
4-6, 6-0, 6-4.
Ooh.
Tough loss.
So Bouchard had a bagel thrown in there.
You would think that this is the tournament where she wanted to make that main draw and make a name for herself. This is a popular tournament. There's so many fans in Miami. Tennis is huge in Miami, and it's a hot tournament.
Bouchard, at this point, well, let me rewind for a second. I've been rooting for Bouchard for a very long time, since her Wimbledon final and before she made that final in 2014. At this point, with the relentless amount of photo shoots, swimsuit pictures, and so forth, I'm going to say with that bagel tossed in there, it might be time for you just to stick to that.
Yeah. Well, there's a new Canadian girl, as we know, Andreescu, so hey, maybe she should hang her rackets. I don't know. I would never give up, though. I'd keep trying if I were her.
I actually have Andreescu losing in this tournament relatively quickly to Kenin, but we'll get to that.
I do have the same thing. Sasha Vicari from the USA defeated Jennifer Brady in 3 sets. Jennifer Brady, as we remember, did well at Indian Wells, right? So we have an American going through. Another American that went down to Mandy Manella from Luxembourg defeated Christine McHale, so she moves on to the next qualifying round.
Yeah, remember these are just qualification matches. So these girls are going to be getting into the main draw, the winners. So when we talk about first round matches, remember on the main draw, some of the qualies are not filled in yet. So we'll discuss where some of these qualifiers can actually do some damage.
Yeah, and another name I'm tossing out there because I have her going pretty far, but she hasn't gotten through the qualifying rounds, is Diana Yastremska from Ukraine.
She's a good player.
18 years old, plays Ekaterina Alexandrova, another Russian girl.
That's a first round match?
No, that's the second qualifying.
That's the second qualifying.
Yeah, so I'm already done with the first qualifying. These are who's playing today to get into the main draw.
Yeah, Stremska's a good player. Young, she's the young lady that played Serena, that kind of shed a couple tears at, what is it, the Australian Open?
Yes, Australia. If she wins today, she gets into the main draw.
Good for her.
Also, Viktorija Golubic
she's a good player.
From Switzerland is playing another good player, Mana Bartel from Germany. So whoever wins from there goes into the main draw. And also Kai Kanepi is playing today from Estonia.
Oh, do you have who Kanepi's playing?
No, I don't.
Kanepi, I think, will beat whoever she's playing. Since it is the qualifying rounds, watch out for Kanepi in any tournament. I'm surprised she even has to go through qualifying. Didn't she do okay at the last tournament?
I was a bit shocked too, yes. Also, well, that's it. That's it. I only wrote down who was, the possible upsets that could upset a big player. So.
All right, well, let's jump into first round and kind of look at some of the sections in the women's draw so we can get to the men's and you guys can start figuring out who you think a first round upset could be to qualify for our T-shirt YTEX Strings giveaway. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. If you're not subscribed, then you don't qualify. We do that simply because it's easier for us to keep up with on our subscriber list of who is subscribed and who's not, so we can make sure we get the prizes sent out.
Correct.
All right.
And also send us a comment, because some people that subscribe don't have their thing private. So just send us a message.
So just let us know.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump into the top half of the women's draw, and we're going to kind of go section by section. In the top half, the 1 seed, Naomi Osaka, is kind of grouped in, obviously, with the bye. 3 qualifiers, and then the next highest seed there is Su Wei Sai, the two-hander on both wings. That would potentially meet Osaka in the 3rd round. The qualifiers in this section are important. I don't know if anybody's kept up with the fact that Osaka is now back in the news, or at least her family is, for the lack of paying coaches for her and her older sister. And we all know at this point how much stress can cause Naomi on court that occurs, or things that occur off court. I do have Naomi Osaka obviously going into the second round. She has a bye.
Right.
I'm not too certain if the two-hander Hisai even beats, well, she has a bye too. I'm not even sure if Hisai gets through her second round match after her bye. I don't have a lot of faith in her because she's just so small, so thin.
I have question marks all over that just because I don't know who's qualifying. I mean, you have Allison Risk in there who could possibly beat Hisai, so I don't know. That draw is pretty open for Osaka, but with now her coach actually suing her, not her dad, I think she's going to be dealing with some mental
there's
stuff.
going to be a lot going on there. Yeah. But any of those qualifiers that make it in here, the Golubiches and the Yastremskas, have a chance to take out Hisai. So I do have, because I don't have that filled in yet, the potential of a qualifier meeting Osaka in the third round. But for right now, I'm going to have Osaka meeting Hisai, and then Osaka going into the fourth round, but that's as far as I have Osaka going, and we'll get to that when we get to the lower section.
Sure. We also have the 20th seed in this tournament, Garbine Muguruza from Spain, and then we have in her little section, Caroline Wozniacki, the 13th seed from Denmark. Again, there's a few players in there, qualifiers. You have Alexandra Sasnovich from Belarus and Tamara Sidansek from Slovakia. I have Muguruza, Wozniacki moving all the way into the third round. I'm just not sure who's going into those qualifying positions.
Be careful for me. Alexandra Sasnovich from Belarus, she's a solid player too. I have her winning her first round match, meeting Wozniacki winning that, and meeting Muguruza in the third round, and I have Muguruza winning that match and meeting Osaka in the fourth round. I do have Muguruza beating Osaka here because of what we just discussed. And then I have Muguruza moving on into the quarterfinals.
I actually have Osaka still beating Muguruza. I don't have faith in Muguruza after what I watched the other time. You know, this last tournament. I just don't think that she's there. All
right, so next section, moving down, we have the 9 seed, Aryna Sabalenka, that has a bye in the first round. We have the likes of Anisimova in this section. Good little player there, up and coming in my opinion. We have Anett Kontaveit, who is a rock star player in my opinion. Always been a fan of Kontaveit. Solid player, big game, nice game. But I like in this section a couple of people. I like Sabalenka to go deep in this tournament. Tomljanovic, I like her.
That's Kyrgios' ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, I do like Kontaveit, and I do like Anisimova.
She's playing Petkovic, your girl.
I like Petkovic a lot, the German player. I actually have Petkovic winning her open round match against
Anisimova. I actually do not have that. I have Amanda Anisimova beating her just because Petkovic just has no confidence. I mean, she let go of that match with Venus Williams at Indian Wells.
Yeah, I have Petkovic beating Anisimova. Unfortunately for the youngster, I think the veteran will be too much.
Disagree.
I have Petkovic meeting Kontaveit in the second round. Kontaveit will have a bye. I have Petkovic winning that match. I have a showdown between Petkovic and Sabalenka in the third round.
I don't have that.
With Sabalenka moving into the fourth round.
I have Anisimova and Sabalenka meeting in the third round with Sabalenka moving on to the fourth round.
All right, so we both landed Sabalenka in the fourth round, different means of getting there.
Yes.
Next section, our next part of that section, we have Angelique Kerber, the 8th seed with the bye. Mm-hmm. We have Sofia Kenin in that section. We have
Bianca Andreescu.
Andreescu. Don't forget about Bagu in there. She's a solid player. And we've got a couple of qualifiers. Kenin with the bye is, I think, going to be a little bit fresher than the probably tired young Andreescu. Again, I think the world of Andreescu, but I think the world of Kenin as well. I think Kenin being at home and home field advantage here will take out the tired Andreescu, and I think Kenin will move into the third round and face off against Kerber. I think Kerber will win that match against Kenin. I think Kenin will have a good showing in that match, but I think Kerber will be too much. And I have Sabalenka and Kerber facing off in the fourth round, with Sabalenka winning that match and ultimately facing Muguruza in the quarterfinals.
Well, we have the same thing. I think Kenin will be too much for Andreescu. She will be tired. And like she said, I could lose to anybody any day. So I have a Kerber Sabalenka with Sabalenka meeting Osaka in the quarters.
I have in the quarterfinals Muguruza meeting Sabalenka, with Sabalenka winning that, with Sabalenka headed to the semis.
I have Sabalenka beating Osaka. Hopefully she can do it, because we've been talking about her for a long time.
All right, so bottom section, we're at 15 minutes. It's a weekday, so surely everybody's working or doing things so they can get through the day. So we're going to try to speed up so we can get through the main stuff, too. So we both have Sabalenka in the semis?
Yes, correct.
All right, so the bottom half of the top half of the women's draw, we have Kvitova in the bottom half. We have Vekic is a seeded player in the bottom half. We have Garcia in the bottom half, who I'm not a big fan of, the French Garcia.
That's really open with her being in there.
We have Azarenka in the bottom, and Azarenka has a very difficult match starting out against Cibulkova.
I think she'll win. Cibulkova is not the same player she used to be many years ago.
I think she will win that as well. So that's a big match starting out.
And then you got Gorgas also, who has a pretty open draw.
Also in this bottom half, we have Barty, the strong Australian. We have Madison Keys, the American, who I think may go pretty far in this tournament because, again, home field advantage does help. We have Pavlyuchenkova, and at the bottom of the draw, we have Kiki Bertens. There is a big match here in the bottom half between two unseeded players, in my opinion, and that's Alexandrova against Yastremska. That's a good match right off the bat. In this bottom half, though, I have Kvitova sailing into the quarterfinals against Azarenka. I have Kvitova winning that match, and then Kvitova matching up with Keys, Madison Keys, eventually in the quarterfinals. And Kvitova ultimately meeting Sabalenka in the semis with Sabalenka winning that match and Sabalenka headed to a final here in Miami.
Okay. Well, I have I think Azarenka will get pretty far beating Kvitova. I don't see anybody stopping her, not Gorgas, not Garcia. And I actually have Pavlyuchenkova and Yastremska going pretty far, meeting Azarenka and Yastremska.
Yeah, in this part of the draw, I don't have a lot of upset alerts. I do know that in the bottom half, there's only a couple qualifiers not filled in here, so I'm pretty certain on this bottom half that...
And I have to make a correction. I thought Yastremska was qualifying. No, she already made the draw.
Yeah, she made the draw.
She made the draw.
I think Azarenka, again, heads into the fourth round, but will lose to Kvitova. An early round matchup that could be really intriguing would be Barty against Madison Keys in the third round. That could be a big matchup. The Pavlyuchenkova-Bertens match in the third round potentially, but watch out for the wild card, Yesu Wang. The wild card from China. She can cause some pain to other players at times. I know she's a wild card, but Pavlyuchenkova and Bertens, I think, could both lose to a potential Wang. So we'll see what happens there. I've got Keys, though, finally going somewhat deep into a draw.
I disagree. She'll probably lose in the second round, Justin.
We'll see what happens.
I have a Sabalenka semifinal, Azarenka winning, going into the finals.
And I have a Sabalenka-Kvitova final with a Sabalenka-Kvitova semifinal with a Sabalenka moving into the final. All right, so we got to do...
This section here is pretty it's pretty open here, by the way. Yeah, it's so open.
All right, so the top half of the bottom half of the women's draw... I like Carolina Pliskova a lot. If you've been following this channel or show, Pliskova, yes. I like her a lot and always have liked her a lot. The past couple of tournaments, she's kind of made some odd excuses of why she's lost. You know, that player played the best ever, otherwise I would have won type thing, and a couple of tournaments in a row she said that. Hopefully she gets away from that and actually does a lot better this tournament. I have Pliskova without much competition until she might face off with Belinda Bencic in the fourth round. But I have Pliskova with the bye. Then I have Pliskova facing Cornet or Buzărescu, sailing through that, ultimately meeting up with Bencic in the fourth round, and then Pliskova actually winning that match and winding up in the quarterfinals.
I have Pliskova beating Bencic and going all the way to the semifinals. I mean, I know we're short in time, so I'll let you do the talking.
No, we're good. We're at about 20, and I think we dead ended around 40. We haven't got to the men's yet.
Okay.
But again, I don't see any upset alerts in this section.
Well, like I said,
it's wide open.
Pliskova has a pretty open section. I mean, she has Sevastova, who might give her trouble.
Sevastova could be tricky.
Bencic could beat her before that, and you have Buzărnescu, which I don't think is much of a threat to her.
Buzărnescu, the Romanian, she can be feisty, but I think Pliskova will get through.
And don't forget, we have Kirsten Flipkens in that side also. You have quite a few players we haven't mentioned.
Yeah, I had Flipkens. And again, look at your draws too, because again, for these string giveaways, you may see something, or t-shirt giveaways, you may see something that we haven't seen yet, or maybe a qualifier was filled in while we're doing this show, and you might like that one a lot. So check it out. The draws are attainable anywhere online by just Googling it up.
Well, in this section,
you have to be careful for Flipkens, though. You're right.
You do. This section right here is wide open. I just put question marks everywhere. Elise Mertens, the 16th seed from Belarus. You have Yelena Ostapenko from Latvia. And really, those names in the middle can't... Any of those players could win. I mean, you have Margarita Gasparian, Marketa Vondrousova, the 19-year-old, Barbara Strykova. To me, that's wide open. Anybody could win that, really.
Yeah, that is a wide open section. I have on the left side of my predictive draw written down, this is wide open.
Yeah, completely. So, if Stevens, and then Stevens on the bottom of that, you have Sloane Stevens, the 4th seed from USA, and Camila Giorgi. Again, her draw is wide open. That section there, if she wanted to beat everybody and was playing like Stevens does, she could.
So
like she used to play.
The entire top half of the bottom half of the women's draw, your seeded players are Pliskova, Buzărnescu, Bencic, respectively, Pliskova, respectively, Ostapenko, but what has she done lately? Nothing. You have Sevastova, tricky, feisty. You have Mertens, Elise Mertens, great, a good player,
Georgie,
solid.
Who'll get a
Georgie, okay, and Sloane Stevens. So just to shorten it up, I have Pliskova beating Bencic in her first test, and then I have Stevens eventually meeting Pliskova in the quarterfinals. I have Vondrousova actually meeting Stevens in the 4th round, but I do have Stevens and Pliskova eventually meeting up in the quarterfinals.
Well, either way, even if Stevens makes it, I think Pliskova can actually do well in this tournament. She can actually make it all the way to the semifinals, in my opinion.
Okay, so you have a Pliskova semi.
Yeah, and I left everything question mark. Actually, I don't think chocolate milk is going to help much.
Yeah, I think the chocolate milk's probably just marketing. I don't see anybody changing side on the men's and women's sides during a set and chugging a gallon of chocolate milk. I don't think it works too well.
I would feel pretty sick if I did
that. A little
that.
Bloated, a little nauseous, something.
And now in this section,
okay,
this is
wait. Who do you have? You have Pliskova going into the semi. Who do you have?
Whoever she meets, it doesn't matter. Pliskova at the semifinals.
I have Sloane Stevens meeting Pliskova in the quarterfinals, but I do have the chocolate milk icon Sloane Stevens winning that match. I like Sloane Stevens a lot. She's been in a rut. She's been through a coaching change. We know this affects players a lot, but I have Sloane Stevens going into the semifinals. Let's go, Sloane. It's time to get back in the thick of things.
Okay, in this section, you have Elena Svitolina. You have TM's girlfriend, Kristina Mladenovic, Yafan Wang, Whitney Osugui. By the way, she's a 16-year-old American player. Good for her. She got a wild card. Marie Osaka, Naomi Osaka's sister.
Naomi 22. Osaka's older sister's in there.
22 years old.
This is something to watch. I did for a while.
Well, she'll be playing a 16-year-old, so she should win that match. 22, 16. She's ranked 338 in the world. She should be the 16-year-old player.
First of all, until a couple of weeks ago, I had no idea Osaka had an older sister in the first place. Pretty interesting. She got a wild card here. I'm sure it has something to do with her last name being Osaka.
Oh, I totally agree.
So yeah. I can't tell you if she's a good player, if she's a subpar player, or or she is just here for a storyline to gain ticket sales and TV ads.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Well, she's facing a 16-year-old that's been training at IMG Academy. Her dad's a coach there, so we'll see what the 16-year-old does.
Yeah, that match is irrelevant for me. I think the wild card Osaka, the older sister, is just a mere publicity stunt, and maybe not. Maybe she'll win the tournament and then win the French Open. Who knows? But I think it's a publicity stunt. I have no interest in that match. Maybe so, just to check it out. But other than that, I don't really expect too much to happen here. I think the pairing against Osaka's older sister and the 16-year-old is a little bit of setup for a storyline to get bigger.
Both of them got wild cards. Both of them got wild cards.
Either way, I'm just saying, I think it's a storyline setup. Oh, Osaka's older sister's now in it. Oh my gosh. Pair her up with a 16-year-old wild card. You know, I think it's a theatrical performance. I don't really have any interest.
Well, you also have Danielle Collins, the 25th seed here. You have Kyung Won, the 18th seed. You have Johanna Konta. And you have Serena Williams in that section, the 10th seed. So what do you see there happening?
I have Konta. Well, actually, I need to scoot up a little bit because we do have Svitolina.
Yeah, here's this section right here.
So I have Svitolina coming off the bye, eventually meeting the theatrical performance inductee of Osaka's older sister. But I have.
Wait, you're forgetting about Mladenovic. You don't think that she could do some damage?
No, I don't think TM's girlfriend's going to do anything.
Okay. And Osaka's sister would face Collins if she were to win.
Well, I haven't gotten down to Collins.
Yeah.
So I don't think Collins, by the way, will do too much here either. I know she
forgot what she did last year. She made it to the semis, beating Venus Williams.
Well, I understand that, and she made a deep run at the Australian Open, and great.
And she had a deep run just this last tournament.
She got beat pretty handily in the last tournament. Collins did. I forget who, but she got destroyed at some point early, like the second round or third round. She got beaten.
She got beat by Osaka.
Okay, well, there you go.
6-4, 6-2, something like that.
Well, she may face off on Osaka's older sister, but let me get there. So I think Svitolina, off of her bye, will cruise through either Osaka's older sister, Mladenovic, or don't forget about Yifan Wang from China. She's a good player too. Yifan Wang won, I think.
She beat Sofia Kenin.
She won Acapulco, I think. She won the entire tournament. But I do have Svitolina in this section moving into the fourth round and eventually playing Serena.
I do not. I actually have Collins meeting Serena.
And don't forget about Konta in this section. Again, it's not that I don't like Collins. It's not.
I understand.
It has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
I know she's had some deep runs and she's done big things, but there's something about when I watch Collins play, I think she's just an up and down player, and she's been up the past couple of tournaments. She has been. I agree with that. But for some reason, I'm not saying I don't care for her or her game. She's been a great college player, won the college championships twice, but I'm still not sold on it. So I think Collins...
Well, I think it's Miami. She's used to playing there. She did go to the University of Florida, right?
So look, let me finish. I think off of the bye, I think that Collins will face off one of the wild cards, Osaka's sister or whoever, and she will win that match. But I have Collins going to face Svitolina and Svitolina cruising through that match. Ultimately, Serena beating Konta just below that, and Serena and Svitolina matching up in the fourth round, with Serena winning that match and moving into the quarterfinals.
Well, I have a Collins Serena moving on to the quarterfinals. And the next section, this one's pretty open.
This is a wide open section.
Daria Katsukina, you have the American Corey Goff, who's another 16-year-old. You have Venus Williams. You have Carlos Suarez Navarro, the 24 seed. Leslie Azarenka. You have a whole bunch of qualifiers. And Simona Halep, the number 2 seed.
This is a section, in my opinion, where qualifiers can do big things. It just depends on which qualifiers get put down here. Do not forget about Venus Williams, though. Don't. This is a tournament that she can excel in, like she did in the past few tournaments.
I agree with you on this.
Okay?
I agree with you on this one, yes.
However, I like Kasatkina to go far here. Kasatkina has been one of my favorite players for a while.
Same here.
She has hit one of the deepest ruts that I have seen a strong player go through in a long time. Doing real well at the U.S. Open a couple of years ago. I think it wasn't last year, it was the year before last. And just really fell off after that. I think it's time for Kasatkina to make some noise here. Kasatkina has a bye in this round. I do have Venus Williams winning her first round match as an unseeded player. I have her facing off against Carlos Suarez Navarro with a nice one-hander. And I have Venus winning that match.
I do as well.
I think, though, when Venus faces up against Kasatkina in this tournament, I think Kasatkina will win that match against Venus. Sorry, I'm a big Venus fan. I'm a big Kasatkina fan. I think this is time for Kasatkina to come back. I have Halep sailing through her section completely, facing off against maybe even a qualifier in the third round. I'm not too big on Azarenka. Again, I know Azarenka's down here at the 28 seed, but I think a qualifier, depending on who it is, might be able to take Azarenka out. So if you're submitting for the string giveaways and so forth, I would look at maybe one of your upsets being someone along the lines of Azarenka. I know that she has a bye in the first round, but if no one gets a big upset in the first round, then watch out for that being a big upset in the second round. So if no one wins anything in the first round, then we'll extend it into the second round.
Well, I have Halep going all the way, meeting up Venus Williams, with Halep being in the quarters and facing off Serena Williams. Eventually, Serena beating her and meeting Pliskova in the semifinals.
All right, so you have a Serena... You said you have a Serena Pliskova semi.
Yes.
All right, I have Halep cruising through to the fourth round, meeting Kasatkina, Halep beating Kasatkina, Halep playing Serena in the semi, with Halep actually winning that match. I still don't think Serena's back in tip-top form yet, and nowadays I'm beginning to doubt that she may ever get there. That last major is going to be extremely difficult for her now, in my opinion, or to get to 24. I think it's going to be extremely difficult at this point.
Well, I have a Serena Azarenka final, and I have Azarenka winning this tournament.
So I have Stevens, Halep in the semis. And I have Halep winning that, so I have a Halep-Sabalenka final with Sabalenka winning the tournament.
I think you're completely off on that one.
All right, jumping into men, simply for time reasons, who we got on top?
We have number 1, Djokovic. We have Bernard Tomic, we have Thomas Berdych, and we have John Millman in that section. Pretty open for Djokovic, honestly.
Pretty open for Djokovic, and we're going to sail through this because we have 15 minutes and we're going to lose.
Well,
so look,
the only interesting match that I see there
Djokovic,
is Berdych. That's it. But
go.
he should cruise all the way, honestly, to the 4th round.
Djokovic, in my opinion, in this tournament, as long as he's playing fine, should cruise all the way to the semifinals, if not the final. I actually go ahead and tell you, I have Novak Djokovic making the final. Watch out for Berdych in this top section. I would say watch out for Millman, who beat Federer last year, but no. Watch out for Tipsarevic. Janko Tipsarevic.
You know, I have him actually upsetting the first upset, Roberto Bautista Agut. I have him upsetting that. And
I have the same one.
I think he will do it, and I actually have him. Let me see. Losing to Berdych, but he could win that match. I don't think Fognini is going to do much.
I have Djokovic coming off of his bye, meeting Tomas Berdych. I have that being a really close match, actually, but I think Djokovic gets through. I think Djokovic will meet Millman in the 3rd. I think Djokovic will meet Tipsarevic in the 4th, and I think Djokovic will end up meeting Milos Raonic in the quarterfinals. I have Djokovic winning that match and headed into the final.
Okay.
Watch out for Tipsarevic, though. Countryman, Serbian.
Yeah, he would, and I made a mistake. I thought he would face Berdych. No, he would face Fognini.
He would face Fognini.
And I think he can beat Fognini.
I think Tipsarevic will beat Fognini.
Two Serbians playing.
Better yet, I don't even know if Fognini, when he comes off of his bye, can handle beating the likes of Klon or Kukushkin.
Kukushkin is tough player.
I'm not, I know Fognini has a beautiful beard, but for me, that's about it.
All right, next section, you have Milos Raonic, you have Maximilian Martiri from Germany. Martyr, Taylor Fritz from the USA, Ilya Ivashka, Thomas Fabiano, and Kyle Edmund. Pretty open there for Raonic.
And pretty open for Fritz, too. Again, I'm kind of a fan of Fritz. I think he's a young father.
Yes, I think I tell my son, you look just like him.
Yeah, I mean, good for him. This is the time for him to actually do something. I think he will? Not necessarily, but it's an opportunity. I never have been sold on Raonic, big serve, these big swinging loopy shots. I like Raonic to an extent. I like his girlfriend better with those. I think his girlfriend should play tennis because she looks like she could get fired up real quick. So
I have an Edmund and Raonic leading up in the 3rd round. Raonic winning.
I have Raonic moving into the 3rd round, and then I have Raonic winning that, and ultimately facing another big server, Isner.
This is open. You have John Isner here. You have Lucas Pouille, Marius Copillo, Martin Clisson. Honestly, whoever wants it here, if Pouille wants it or Isner, and they play well, they'll get all the way to the 4th round.
Well, you have, and this section 2, upset alert down here as well. You have to watch out for Clisson and Copil. Both of those players can play, but just by the numbers, looking at this draw, looking at some head-to-heads, I would have Raonic and Isner meeting in that 4th round, battle of the big servers.
I think the Canadian will be too much.
Yeah, I don't think it's coincidence that there's always these big servers that meet up before finals. I think it's time to get one of them out of there because it gets kind of old, the big serve and forehand. So here they are getting one of them eliminated, thank goodness. In the 4th round. So I have Djokovic meeting Raonic, and again, I have Djokovic winning that
Same
match.
here, I do. In the next section, you have Dominic Thiem, the 3 seed. Matteo Berrettini, the guy with the nice eyebrows from Italy. Hubert Hurkacz from Poland.
I like Hurkacz a lot.
And you have Martin Futovic, also from Hungary. So this is a little tough section here for Thiem.
Watch out for Hurkacz in this section. If he can continue to do what he's been doing, Thiem needs to watch out for that. You have to watch. Fusovic has to watch out for Hurkacz. Fusovic, yeah. Fusovic.
Yeah.
For me, though, I like Thiem after his confidence-building win over Federer. I like Thiem to come off his bye to win his matchup between Hurkacz or Berrettini, and then ultimately facing off Fucsovics. But watch out for your qualifier here. Some of the qualifiers are Albat, Tsonga, Auger Elysium, Tsonga, I already said that, Louis Lacko, Rublev, Mackenzie McDonald, Opelka, and Evans, the coming back British player.
They're still playing today, so they still haven't qualified.
Yeah, so be careful with the qualifier there. Be careful for Hurkacz. But I do have TM facing off against Fucsovics with TM winning that.
I don't. I actually have Fucsovics beating TM. I don't think TM is consistent enough. Sorry.
All right, we're going to pick up speed here because we've got 10 minutes left to finish the entire
Well,
game.
you've got Nicolas Baishvili, Misha Zverev, Robin Haas, and Gael Monfils. You have Borna Koric, Jeremy Chardy, Gilles Simon, Nick Kyrgios, and Kei Nishikori in the bottom section.
All right. I'll go ahead and tell you that I am a fan of Basilashvili. At one point last year, I thought that Baishvili and Borna Koric would be the next the next two or three, or the next two players that would be eventually in the top 3 to 5, maybe top 10 in the world. It just hasn't happened. They're getting closer. But I have Basilashvili coming off his bye, winning his second-round match, and ultimately facing Monfils.
I do as well. I have Monfils beating him.
I have Monfils winning that too, as long as we don't have any more hotel room incidents or Achilles tendon withdrawals. But I do have TM beating Monfils in that match.
I have Fucsovics beating Monfils. I don't think Monfils is going to go far. I lost faith in him in that last tournament.
Watch out for Misha Zverev. Not that I think he's going to win anything, but just watch his game. It's nice to see a serve and volleyer in action.
Well, I have Koric moving all the way into the meeting Kyrgios. I think would be in the 4th round.
I have that.
I'm sorry, I did say that I had no faith in Kyrgios, but I have him going all the way to the semifinals.
So in this bottom section again, Borna Koric, Nick Kyrgios, Basilashvili, Gilles Simon. There was another couple.
You have Jeremy Chardy in there.
Yeah, there you go. So this is
Nishikori. I think Nishikori will get stopped with Kyrgios.
Yeah, this is a hot section right here. I have Koric rolling through into the 3rd round against Simon. I have him beating Simon and meeting Kyrgios after Kyrgios beats Nishikori in the 3rd. I do have Koric winning that matchup with Kyrgios, and Koric then beating even TM. And I have Koric and Djokovic meeting in the semifinals with Djokovic winning that and headed to the final.
I do not. I have Fucsovics and Kyrgios. Kyrgios winning, Kyrgios facing Djokovic, and Kyrgios beating Djokovic. So I have a Kyrgios final.
We're way off on that one.
Yeah,
bottom half of the men's draw starting at the top. Kevin Anderson starts at the top.
He might even pull out.
No offense to Igor Savage. Much love, bro. Again, he is the president and CEO of YTEX STRINGS and also a wonderful player and coach, by the way. No disrespect to the South African Kevin Anderson.
He's been injured.
Again,
he's been injured, though.
And I say Igor because he's South African. No disrespect there, but I just don't trust Anderson right now. One of our viewers at one point said, if you ever gamble on tennis, just make sure you don't ever bet on Kevin Anderson, right?
Well, you got
don't trust him to do anything here.
This is wide open. You have Steve Johnson in that section. You have Grigor Dimitrov. You have Feliciano Lopez, Benoit Paire, and Karen Khachanov in that section there.
Yeah, and even moving down a little bit further.
Well, you got to get through that section.
Yeah.
Khachanov really has a wide, all the way to get to the quarters. He has a big chance to get to the quarters.
I think upset alert is Anderson coming off his bye and losing to Munar in the 2nd round. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it could. I mean, I have it penciled in here that Anderson may make the 3rd round, I guess, if I had to put money on it. But Munar, I think, has a chance. I think Steve Johnson, who to me is
Steve Johnson could get all the way.
To me, I love Steve Johnson's heart and his story and the way he grinds it out, and he's a good coach from what I hear. I think even though he's a subpar player, at least on Pro Tour, I think that he could even get to face Anderson in the 3rd round.
I agree.
So this is a wide open section. I have penciled in over here in the quarterfinals who I think will make the top quarter. I have But if I had to bet on it and someone forced me to say it, I would say Anderson.
What about Dimitrov meeting Khachanov, possibly?
I have that penciled in. I have Dimitrov meeting Khachanov in the 3rd round. I have a question mark on who wins that because Dimitrov has just kind of faded away. But I do have Dimitrov eventually meeting a possible Anderson, Dimitrov winning that match, and Dimitrov facing Wawrinka in the quarterfinals.
I have Khachanov going all the way to the quarters. In the next section, you have Daniil Medvedev, you have Adrian Manarino, Diego Schwartzman, Stan Wawrinka, Roger Federer, and I'll stop there because then we'll keep moving further. So you have Roger Federer, the number 4 seed.
Watch out for Krajinovic in there. Watch out for Krajinovic. And the Serbian player who's been lights out here, watch out for him.
So that's a little, I think it's an open section just for the top side. I think if Roger Federer or Wawrinka want to make it all the way to the quarters, they would have to play each other, right, in the third round?
Yeah, Federer and Wawrinka would face one another once again in the third round, just like they did in this past tournament. If it even happens again, there's been speculation that the mighty Roger might pull away. If Wawrinka can get through Krajinovic, because that's going to be a tough match. Upset alert right there with Krajinovic. But I think Wawrinka comes through and ultimately faces off with a potentially kind of tired Federer. And I do have Wawrinka winning that and heading into the fourth round.
I do as well.
Upset alert up here. I have, though, between that section with Medvedev and Schwartzman, right? I have Struff meeting Manarino in the third round with Struff making it into the fourth round, and Struff facing off against Wawrinka, with Wawrinka winning that. So I have a Dimitrov-Wawrinka quarter with Wawrinka moving into the semis.
Khachanov Wawrinka and Wawrinka going into the semis.
All right, so bottom half, and again, Federer, if he makes it this far, because he's tired, I think Wawrinka beats him here.
Yes.
Bottom half, Tsitsipas is down here. He's got a wide open section, but here I'm going to go ahead and tell you, upset alert again. I still haven't been sold on Tsitsipas. Up and down, he hits wide open. He's very lively. Sometimes he needs to find a little bit of a second gear and then shift to third and not always an overdrive. So I'm still not completely sold on Tsitsipas yet. But he has a wide open section with a whole entire section. He has Shapovalov, her boy, who I'm not sold on.
I think, Shapovalov is going to meet Cilic. Again, it's going to be another rematch in the third round. I actually have Cilic beating him.
I have that too.
I have Cilic beating him this time.
I agree with you. So, in Tsitsipas' section, he has Cilic, Peja, who I'm totally not sold on at all.
Leonardo Mayer, the veteran.
Malek Jaziri, the veteran. Marin Cilic, the veteran, who, again, I've watched Cilic play for a long time. And he used to have wrist injuries, too, Cilic did back in the day.
With a lot of injuries.
You had the big server, Karlovic. Watch out down here for maybe David Goffin. I don't trust Tiafoe. I like his story. I hope he doesn't rip his shirt off anymore.
Sam Querrey.
You got Sam Querrey.
Xavi Ferreira, who faced off in the first round.
Yeah, you have Alexander Zverev or Sasha.
And you also have the Serbian, Kecmanovic, as well.
So, and I like Kecmanovic a lot. So watch out for the upset alert down bottom with Kecmanovic in this section.
I have Tiafoe losing to him.
I have Kecmanovic beating Tiafoe as well. I like this kid, Kecmanovic, a lot. I hope he goes deep. I do have the young Zverev down bottom, though, getting through Kecmanovic in the third round.
Yes.
I have Zverev eventually meeting Goffin in the fourth round.
I do.
I have Cilic facing Zverev in the quarterfinals.
I have Zverev and Tsitsipas going into the semifinals. I went with the same thing again.
I have Cilic and Zverev playing in the quarterfinals. I have the young Zverev getting through to the semis here and playing Wawrinka in the semis. And I think Wawrinka will win that match and head to the final and face off against Djokovic. So I think here we have a Djokovic-Wawrinka final, and I think Djokovic takes the title and gets set for a clay season run.
I went opposite with you, Justin. I have Kyrgios in the finals with Wawrinka, and I have actually Kyrgios winning Miami Open. And I'm sorry, guys, but I don't know. I want to give this guy a chance. Upset
alerts here. Again, tips for the string giveaways, and I may be dead wrong. I'm definitely not sold on Tsitsipas yet. I know he's done good. I know he's beaten.
He'll do fine.
I'm not sold on Tsitsipas. I'm not sold on Shapovalov.
Oh, no, I'm not sold on that. But also, let's remember that Felix Auger-Aliassime is in there, and I don't know where he's going to end up also.
I think.
What happened to Laszlo Djere? He's not even playing.
Yeah, this is a good question for some of our Serbian viewers. We are now on board with Laszlo Djere.
I didn't see him,
and we have not seen him in this draw. So hopefully he's okay. Let us know about that. So I have women's winner Sabalenka, men's winner Wawrinka.
Azarenka, Kyrgios. That's the winner.
All right, so that's it, everyone. Have a superb day. Don't forget, if you want to qualify for any of the YTEX gear, shirts or strings, just subscribe to the channel. Give us your first big upset, but you must put in your comments before any matches start, at least for today. And if you pick it, and we think it's the biggest upset of the day, then we will send you a set of YTEX strings, and we can chat about what's best for you, or what shirt color, or whatever it may be. Biggest upset, put it in comments. Whoever wins that will send you out one of the 2 items. So that's it. Have a great day, everyone. We're off to the tennis court. We have to do some stringing and hit a few balls today with YTEX's Triangle Twisted. So we look forward to starting that play test up and string test review for YTEX's Triangle Twisted. And we aim to have that review done at the end of the Miami Open tie frame, maybe about a week after that. So we look forward to that review of YTEX's Triangle Twisted. Have a great day. Click like below. Please share our videos. Please subscribe to our channel. And we will see you tomorrow. Stay positive. Positive things happen to positive outlooks. And positive brings out the best in people. So see you tomorrow. And as Carla always says,
adios.
Adios.